Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 2E. I am Riddhi Goyal, the moderator of this session. You can contact me in chat box if you have any questions or any queries. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 6th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent System through Zoom. Moreover, as you know, we have been dealing with new normal situation as we recover from the pandemic. Hence, the conference has been shifted to a hybrid. We hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive session through the day. We also hope to have a future physical version of this conference. Also, there is a special note for the presenter. You will be given a 7 to 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question answer. And on 7 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. And I request while the presentation is going on, other participant must be muted. And another request to all, please stay connected with us until the closing remarks. Just before we get started, I would like to invite to all our session chair, Professor Samiksha Shukla. Hello, ma'am. I welcome you. Dr. Samiksha Shukla is an associate professor, Department of Data Science, deemed to University Lavasa campus. She is an experienced and focused teacher, always keen to promote the education and well-being of students, passionate about innovation and good practice in teaching, always engaged in continuous learning to broaden knowledge. Currently heading Department of Data Science, Chris deemed to be University, Pune, along with mentoring AI and healthcare projects in association with professor from Stanford University. For expertise in computational security, artificial intelligence, and also healthcare domain. Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you.
And then another our session chair, Dr. Neha Tiwari. I welcome you also, ma'am. Neha Tiwari, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. I'm so sorry because of some technical issue. I won't be able to join in through my camera.
No problem. No issue.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to introduction some Neha Tiwari about. She is an associate professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, the IIS University of Jaipur, India. She is working as an associate professor and she hold a doctorate in computer science along with BSc, PGDCA, MSc, MCA and MPhil degrees. She is a research supervisor with an experience of more than 16 years and also supervised the student in a variety of projects. She has been a part of many academic bodies and has delivered various guest lectures, reviewed research paper, chaired the session in conferences, as well as conducted the FDP seminars and conferences. Her research domain include networking, machine learning, blockchain, database, software engineering, and cloud computing. So now I would like to start with first presenter. Dhanashri Falke, and her paper title is on color feature extraction based near duplicate video retrieval. Hello, ma'am. You can start your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving this opportunity. To start with, Professor Samiksha Shukla and Professor Neha Tiwari, respected these panel members and all the other presenters. I am Mrs. Dhanashri Falke, working as an assistant professor in D.Y. Patil College of Engineering. and I am pursuing my PhD in Department of Technology, Savitribai Phule, Pune University. So I would like to share my screen now. Ma'am, please let me know.
Yes, yes, ma'am. You can share your screen.
But ma'am, it is giving me the error, host disabled the participant screen sharing.
Okay, now you can share your screen. Please once try, please.
Just a minute, ma'am. Okay, is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, it is visible, but I request you to make a full screen, please.
Yes, just a minute. Is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, it is perfect. You can.
Okay, thank you so much. So my paper ID is 159 and my paper title is Color Feature Extraction Based Near Duplicate Video Retrieval. So to start with, these are the contents of my presentation. First, I'll talk about the introduction, then I'll give the literature review, then proposed methodology, and then I will talk about the results and discussion on my results. So to start with, due to the rapid advancement in the multimedia devices like the smartphones and exponential increase in the internet user activities such as video editing, review, and streaming, the accumulate enormous amount of the near duplicate videos which cannot be detected or retrieved effectively by the conventional video retrieval techniques. So near duplicate video retrieval is the systematic approach to search for the near duplicate videos which are created by transforming original videos with or without permission. There are the various applications where NDVR can be used to handle the critical issues such as storage cleaning, copyright protection, or copyright violation detection, video recommendation, etc. The feature extraction is the crucial and the important process for the near duplicate video retrieval. The more effective features extraction process will be, the more effective or the efficient results will be. So let's talk about the literature review. There are the various features has been extracted by the different researchers from the video, like the color, ages, etc., which will be further processed for the retrieval. Hoop, LBP, HSV, these features has been extracted by the various authors. The detailed description about these papers who have referred these particular approaches I was given in the references. The different deep learning techniques are also implemented for the near duplicate video retrieval using the LSTM, VGGNet, etc. Before starting to work on the deep learning technique, the basic understanding of the color features will certainly create the awareness of the feature extraction strategies. To fulfill this purpose, the color features based near duplicate video retrieval is used in this paper. So my methodology is, there will be the two tracks. First is the offline and the online. In the offline means the training phase. It is also called as the training phase. So in that training phase, first the feature extraction will be there, and then the feature vector generation will be there. Then after that, the video fingerprint will be generated, which will be stored for the further reference. Then in the online, again, the query video will be given as an input. From that query video, also the features will be extracted. The video fingerprint will be generated and which will be verified, or the which will be tested with the training data set video fingerprint, which we have already created and stored. And then by using the similarity evaluation measure, we are going to retrieve which are the near duplicate videos. So let's talk about the one by one all these phases. So the first phase is the feature vector extraction. So as it has been shown in the figure, first the video will be given as an input to the system, and from the video, every 20th frame will be extracted. So these are the different videos, and from these videos, the frames will be extracted. So the 5 frames I have extracted from each video. Okay, every 20th frame. So such 5 frames will be extracted. So it has been shown in this particular diagram. Okay, from every video, the 5 frames has been extracted. Okay, like 1, 21, 41, 61. So every 20th frame I have extracted. So once that frame is extracted, every frame, I'll use the pointer here. Yes. So every these frame is divided into the 4 quadrant which has been shown in this particular figure. So this is the different, these are the 4 quadrant, and then we are displaying these 4 quadrants so that we can able to see here that how this frame is divided. This I have done just to for the one frame, just to understand whether I'm going to the proper track or not. So from every such quadrant, we are going to extract the RGB features. So say this is the first quadrant, RGB feature of this is extracted. Again for this, this and this. Okay. So accordingly, we are going to extract the RGB feature from every quarter of the single frame. So after that, so these are the different 4 quadrants. These are the different features which we have extracted from that particular frame. That is the RGB features. This I have noted here. Now, once you have extracted these particular features, okay, so we are going to store these particular features in the data set. Okay, but before that, this is just for, we have seen for one frame. So accordingly, for 5 frames, we are going to extract the the features, and then we are going to make the average of it. Okay, so this is what is shown in this particular figure. These are the actual output or the statistics which has been gained from the system. Okay, so these are the average features, means for one video we are going to create the one feature. So okay, if you go here, this is the color final, means this is the feature of one frame. This is the first quadrant RGB value, second quadrant RGB, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Then this color feature means when we are going to do the combining all this, we are going to concatenate all these 4 quadrants features, and then as we have extracted the 5 frames per video, so then we are going to make the average of that, which has been shown in this last row. So accordingly, this last row is nothing but for that particular video, we have created one video fingerprint. So this is how I have stored all the fingerprints in the video fingerprints as a data set here in the Excel sheet. Now, this was the training phase. Now coming to the testing phase, first is what we have. We are going to give the input query video to the system. Again, whatever we have done for the training phase, accordingly the same way, we are going to extract the first 5 figures of the query video. Then this is the actual output of the system, wherein for the query video, we are showing this whatever is the feature vector generated or the video fingerprint of that particular input video. Now, this particular, even I have taken the time, that how much time it is taking. Then this video fingerprint will be given or will be tested to find out the similarity with the whatever is the training video fingerprints we have already generated. So we are going to compare it with that. So for that, we are going to use the similarity evaluation. So for that similarity evaluation, I've used the technique of the Euclidean distance. The formula is given here. D of the PQ equal to square root of summation of I equal to 1 to n QI minus PI square, where QI is the Excel file where we have where all the extracted features of the video data set database is stored in the form of the signature of the video, and PI is the signature generated through the feature extraction of query video. Now these are the testing results. So for my system, I have taken the 1000 videos.
Hello,
1000 number of
for
videos.
interruption.
Yes.
Can you please wrap up 2 minutes presentation?
Yeah. So these are the number of the videos and classes. This is the time. Now I have used the CC video data set, and these are the different categories of the videos which has given in that particular data set. And these are my testing results. The first is the video ID which I have given. This is the query video. Then the time, how much they have elapsed, and this is the equivalent. This is the results I'm getting here. So if you see here 0 bits, I'm getting exactly the same video there. So these are the extracted videos, and these are the non-relevant video. These are the relevant videos. So these are the different results for my system. This is the graphical representation analysis of the relevant and the non-relevant videos. So for this performance evaluation, as already I told, I have used the MAP. This is the precision analysis. And the conclusion, RGB color features are very prominent and useful visual features, which is used for the near duplicate video retrieval. 5 frames with the interval of the 20 frames is extracted from each video. RGB features are extracted from each quarter of the frame, and the video signature is generated. This signature is used to extract the relevant near duplicate videos from the database. For the experimentation, total 1,000 videos are used from the CC web dataset, and the result shows that only the RGB feature is not sufficient to retrieve the near duplicate video. So in future, other color model will be used to improve the accuracy of the near duplicate video retrieval. And these are the references which I have used. Thank you so much. So any queries?
Yeah, Dhanishri, first of all, congratulations for the work that you've done. I
Thank you,
want to
ma'am.
ask, how long has it been, like how long did you get enrolled in PhD?
I think 2 years back.
2 years back. All
Yeah.
right. So, like, how have you selected the features and what's the data source?
Data is I
First,
have
tell me
used
about the
the
data.
the data set which I have used is the CC web data video, which is the standard data set which is used for the near duplicate video retrieval. So to gain the access to that particular data set, we have
Mm-hmm.
to we have to sign one form, and we have to send to the authors, and then they give the access to us. So this is how I could able to get that access for that particular data set. And in all the papers of this NDVR, which is based on the NDVR, they have used the same data set. So that's why I thought to go for this the same data set. Then only I can justify my results over there. So I've selected that data set from these different reference papers, and then I could able to download it completely. And they have also given the truth table, the ground truth, wherein we can verify whether we are getting the results, are they correct or not.
Do you think whatever work you've done in past 2 years is it justifiable, or you could have done more
Yes, ma'am. I
in
have done
this duration?
I have done
Yeah.
more the work. This is the first what we can say the experimentation I have done, wherein I have selected out of 13,000 videos, only 1,000 videos I have taken. Initially I have started with the RGB features, and this was my experimentation. Then next time, then when I found that RGB features only are not sufficient, then next in the next phase I have also tested the HSV features and the LBP features also. So this work is my
Yeah, a lot
initial
of
work.
work is going on in this regard. We can see variety of work which is being done in this domain. So
Yeah.
how do you think your work is contributing differently to it? Except for the
Uh,
data set which is being taken is different. What do you think exactly the contribution of your work would be?
yes, ma'am. Actually, the very basic problem or the challenge which I have faced is the memory, because the video it takes the huge space, and there are the total 13,000 number of 13,000 plus videos are there. So that was the major challenge. So I'm working on the to find out the solution, that how we can reduce that particular space which is required by the video, because in this
No,
work I
people
have
are already
extracted.
doing a lot of work. I'm
Yes,
sorry
ma'am.
to interrupt you.
Yes,
So people are already doing a lot in this.
yes.
I just want to, that's just a kind of suggestion to you. So please go through the work which is already being done so that you can come up with something novel, right? That would be your contribution of your research work. So I think you need to perform some more groundwork. I think some more work needs to be done before you actually take up the work, the experimentation part. That is just a suggestion from my end. Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's it.
Dhanashri, so
Yes,
as
ma'am.
Neha madam was asking, even I have some few questions in the same line.
Okay, ma'am.
You were telling that you have around 13,000 videos and you have selected around 1,000 videos.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the criteria of selection of those 1,000 videos?
I have taken the sign randomly. The selection was the random selection, and only the query video I have purposely selected because that will be given as the input. So the query video was purposely selected, and remaining videos were the selected at the random.
I'm not able to hear Dhaneshwari at all. Yeah.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Yeah, okay. Ma'am, I have selected one video as a query video, which is already given in the data set. and then the remaining videos are selected in the random. And then I have tested it, the output with the ground truth, which is given in the data set. And that just now, whatever I told related by that space. So I have already worked on that, and my another paper is also ready and sent for the journal, which is in process now. So wherein I have created one hybrid model.
Yeah, how can you claim your model is better than already existing models?
By using the results, ma'am, which I am getting, because in every paper they have given the results based on the MAP. So I have also taken the same performance evaluation, and based on that MAP, I have justified my results with the existing work, and I'm getting the good results as compared to the existing work in the another approach.
So is the hardware configuration used by them and you is same?
No, that is the different.
Then how can you claim that your work is better, like whether your hardware is better or your methodology is better?
No, my results, I'm just telling, they have taken the MAP as the performance evaluation. So I have used the same measure for the performance evaluation. I have not considered the time, because if we change the hardware, it will be changed in the time that will be taken there. So yes. I have not taken that measure, because based on the hardware, the time can be the variant. But based on the approach, the output will be the same. So I have considered only that is the MAP I have considered for comparing my output.
Okay, in between you were telling that you have taken every 20th frame.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any specific region of
one of the, yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you. In one of the reference paper, they have taken that every 20th frame. In 2 or 3 papers, I have seen that. So I have also thought of going for the same measure. So that's why I have selected every 20th frame in that also.
Why don't you experiment with some other frame rather than extracting only 20th frame? Because the work is already existing. Maybe you should try something else, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. I'll definitely try for the taking the more number of the frames.
Okay.
Thank you so much for these guidelines, ma'am.
Yeah, I would reiterate, Dhanashri, there is a lot of groundwork that needs to be done before your experimentation. Please speak to your guide so that you don't get stuck up in your, finalization of work. Okay, so that's a suggestion, since you've already devoted 2 years, which are very, very important. And yet, personally, I feel lack of justification in taking up the work that you have taken. So just a suggestion, please kindly speak to your guide in detail and come up with some strong justifications behind taking this work. All right, all the best.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So we are moving our next presenter, Anjali Lokeshwar, and his paper title on face recognition based automatic attendance system.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lokeshwar Anjuri, and I'm pursuing my BTech final year in SR Engineering College. Now I would like to share my screen.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah, is it okay, ma'am? And my paper ID is 162. And my topic is face recognition based automatic attendance system. Coming to the introduction part, automatic attendance system is to take attendance using face recognition. In this system, we capture the different angle images of registered students. It almost captures around 60 images of each student. Images further trained using machine learning algorithms. We have many other alternative proposed products, but in this pandemic situation, face recognition is best. About proposed system, firstly, we need to collect images of all students.
So, sorry for the interruption, sir, but your screen is not movable.
Okay, 1 second. Now is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, it is perfect. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, we need to collect the images of all students, and we call this as registration process. Afterwards, we need to train all the captured images. For training images, we used a built-in machine learning classifier, R cascade classifier. All these trained images are saved in XML format, like using name, roll number, date, and timings of all students are stored in an Excel sheet. It tracks the images and compares them with the images present in the database so that it can perform the accuracy rate and it can make the attendance perfect. The attendance of every student is gathered in an Excel sheet. After the class, the faculty can refer the Excel sheet. Sorry for the trouble. It is not moving from the screen. Can I use in this way, ma'am?
Yes, yes, you can.
Okay. And the libraries used in this system are OpenCV, NumPy, Pandas, CSV, Datetime, and Tkinter. Coming to the OpenCV, it is a machine learning software library. It is a cross-platform which is used for developing real-time computer vision applications. Using OpenCV, we can turn on our desktop camera and capture the videos. OpenCV, it is used for image processor, video analysis, pattern recognition, and detecting objects. Coming to the NumPy is a Python library used for working with arrays. It consists of multidimensional arrays, objects, and performs mathematical and logical operations. Pandas library is used for data manipulation analysis, and CSV is a simple file format for storing and retrieving the data from the file. Datetime library is used to retrieve the current date and time to store in a CSV file. And Tkinter, this is a Python GUI application. It has a package or module where we can perform GUI programming. Coming to the algorithms and classifiers used, and we are using local binary pattern histogram LBPH as an algorithm and R cascade classifier. To learn them deeply, local binary pattern histograms. It is used for face or image representation. If the image is in grayscale, we can use that as a 3 into 3 pixel matrix so that it represents a 3 by 3 matrix containing the intensity of each pixel. Here we can consider center value as a threshold value and process this for the extracting the LBP code. This process involves thresholding the center pixel with the surrounding pixel values using window and considers the result as a binary number. In this image, you can see the process of the LBPH algorithm performs. Here it is using this 3 into 3 pixels as a and 90 as a threshold value as it is a center of that, and it is converting into the binary values. R cascade classifier is an algorithm. It cascades eventually down into a square. Hair features are predominantly building block edge features, line features, and 4 rectangular features. It has all the positive and negative images. Already trained images using this, we can detect the images. And this is the methodology of our project. Firstly, here all the completed registrations. If the student is not registered, then there will be a registration process in which he will be entering his name and roll number, and it will be taking around 60 images of a student. Now trained images are stored in a file. If the student is already registered, then they can take attendance by opening the camera and capturing the video and converting into frames. Recognizes all the faces. If it is matching with the already the images which are in the database, then the attendance will be stored in the Excel sheet of that day.
Hello.
And
Sorry for the interruption, sir.
yes, ma'am.
Sir, you have last 2 minutes, sir.
Okay. And this is the main proposed system. Student details folder. It contains an Excel file in which you will have the details of all the students who have registered. And these are the 60 images. When they are registering, the system will be taking them. And this is the attendance folder where it is divided into each day of Excel sheet. Like in today, the Excel sheet will be depends on only the attendance of today. And this is the this is a process so that it will be identifying his name and his roll number when he is taking the attendance. Yeah, okay, ma'am. This is the conclusion. Using this technique, faculty can't take additional time on taking attendance, and there may be fewer chances of proxy. So the proposed system will support the performance of existing students' attendance system in the following ways. It will be increasing the efficiency of overall system. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Lokeshwar, I think this is is it your dissertation work?
Ma'am?
Is it your dissertation work? I think you are still studying, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're doing BTech. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So that's not a part of research. It's a kind of dissertation work that you've done, isn't it? What exactly the work is?
It is about the taking attendance, ma'am, automatically.
No. I'm not asking that.
Okay.
You're not a research scholar, right? You're a BTech student.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a
So
BTech student.
is it a kind of project that you've taken, or is it a kind of dissertation work? What exactly are you doing?
Actually, I'm a part of this, ma'am. My lecturer was the main.
That's a part of the curriculum, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You must be there in your final year, final semester.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So have you taken up this work alone, or is it a teamwork?
No, ma'am. It is a teamwork.
It's a teamwork. All
Yes.
right. So can you just brief me what exactly do you think your work can be a contribution to society? Because
Yes, ma'am.
see, we already have certain tools which are doing it. We have biometric attendance, which is already
Yes.
which is already used extensively by organizations and academic institutes. So how do you think
But
your work is bit different from that? Because we already have tools for it. We already have equipments which automatically does it.
yes, ma'am.
So how your work is a contribution?
Actually, we proposed this project so that in recent times, the COVID situations, the even the biometry is also a touching part, right, ma'am? So the taking attendance using face recognition, there will be no contact with anyone or any object, so that it will be safe for everyone.
No, I got your point, but the person would certainly have to be there online, right? The person has to be present in online mode, and the camera would capture the image.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the idea, right? So I'm telling you that there are certain softwares, there are tools which are already used for it. Even during pandemic, uh, examinations have been conducted extensively in online mode
Yes,
through this face recognition technique by taking attendance in this mode, and which is working perfectly well.
yes, ma'am.
तो आपका जो काम है वो कैसे अलग है जिस काम के लिए हमारे पास ऑलरेडी सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं अवेलेबल
Okay.
है ना टूल्स हैं हाउ डू यू थिंक योर वर्क इज डिफरेंट आप मतलब ये कॉन्सेप्ट जो लेके चल रहे हो तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे डिफरेंट है
So not only on online platform, ma'am, we can also use this
हाँ,
at the offline platform.
be it online or offline Lokeshwar, I'm telling you that there are
Already,
already tools available for it, right? did
ma'am.
you did you um, did you perform the detail analysis part before taking up this topic?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So didn't you find any software? Didn't you find any tools which are already there for the same work?
Yes, ma'am. But that is only on the recognition part, ma'am. But
Mm-hmm.
in this project, we are containing all the attendance sheets automatically, ma'am. Like it is storing the database automatically.
Automatically in
What
what
I have
sense?
what I have seen is that it is only for the temporary part. It is recognizing and it is showing attendance, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But in our project, we will be storing all the data, ma'am. Like every day data will be stored on every.
I got what you're trying to do, but somehow I'm not much convinced with the idea, with the work itself. Over to you, Samiksha ma'am, if in case you have anything to ask.
No, I was
Thank you, Lokesh.
disconnected in between.
Okay, that's absolutely okay. Lokeshwar, I would say add something which is uh, using which you can, give a suggestion, um, or I would say incorporate something which makes your work bit different from pre-existing tools and softwares, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Lokeshwar. So we are moving forward to our next presenter. Mr. Divyanshu Sinha, and his paper title on soft computing based approach for face recognition on plastic surgery and skin color based scenario using CNN. I think he is absent now. Can we moving forward to our next presenter, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I would like to invite our next presenter, Tushar Champaneria, and his paper title on microservices in IoT middleware architecture, trends, and challenges.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
My screen is visible?
Yes, sir. It is visible. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all. This is essential. My name is Tushar Champaneria, and I'm here to present a paper which is titled Microservices in IoT Middleware Architectures with their Trends and Challenges. So mainly here, this will be a agenda for the discussion, like introduction and how microservices are significant to the IoT middleware, and microservice-based architecture proposals, which we discuss in literature and the discussion. So to start with, if we look at our architecture here, which is IoT middleware architecture, then we can look at that with a three-layered architecture, where the bottom layer is a device layer and the top layer is the application layer. Whereas IoT middleware is a gluing layer between these two. So as it is sitting between these two, which is application layer and devices layer, it must satisfy some of the requirement which are needed for the efficient communication as well as working of the IoT system. So let us move towards different requirement and discussion of them, those requirements. So, yeah, while developing a middleware for IoT domain, IoT middleware requirement needs to be addressed, right? So in this particular figure, we can see that various requirements are identified and listed down. Like as we know, with the IoT domain, there are few requirements which are inherent, like heterogeneity, interoperability, availability, and scalability, right? So we can classify, kind of do classification of those with the perspective of application layer perspective. Like in application layer, scalability is requirement, fault tolerance is a requirement, reusability is a requirement, and there is a extensibility is also a requirement. Whereas other specific requirement includes, as we consider scalability, there is another requirement of data management and context awareness comes in. As when we design a system which is scalable, it also have a large amount of data which needs to be managed, and also we need to find some context out of data. That data, large amount of data, hence context awareness is also a challenge or a requirement. So here, how exactly this microservices-based approach helps us, that we will discuss here in the next slide. Yes. So as we can see in this particular figure, that microservices works on a particular function. So it's more of like a more like a architectural style than a technology itself. So in microservices, there are various advantages also, and there is disadvantages also. So advantages like scalability, reusability, availability, and ease of deployment is there in case of microservices. As well, they are technology agnostic, so we don't have to bother about a particular technology stick to, and we can do functional decomposition as much we can do. Whereas it has its various cons, like there is a complex coordination logic is required between them, and testing of individual microservices is a challenge here, because when we need to test an application, okay, it might be that possible that another microservices, other service is not in the particular version which we required. So that is a challenge here. But yes, with the proper planning, this disadvantage or cons can be managed, and hence this can be usable for any of the IoT middleware implementation. So one more part I would like to highlight here, that in literature, there are different types of middlewares are proposed, like actor-based middleware, like cloud-based middleware, and services-based middleware. But also in literature, it's found that service-based middleware are most suitable for IoT scenario because of the advantages as we just discussed here. And microservices are a special case of service orientation, which helps us in realizing our goals in addressing requirements. In this particular slide, we have done a study of different middlewares. So here we have relevant studies in which different microservice-based middlewares are proposed, and those are examined against different IoT middleware requirements. So as we can see that as they are based on microservices, most of them are addressing different requirements like heterogeneity, interoperability, and availability, and security also. But yes, there are few requirements which are like data management, then context awareness, then fault tolerance, also reusability are less commonly addressed, because when any of the particular middleware, microservice middleware is proposed, as we can see in very first reference, it is for smart farming purpose. If we can see in the second one, it is for digital factory. So they are specific to some of the application scenario, and hence they are not able to address all the requirement at a time. That is acceptable, yes, but from this study, our aim was to identify that which are the different requirements which are less commonly addressed. So in the one of the paper, which is for the smart farming purpose, where authors have proposed a architecture which provides scalability, stability, interoperability, reusability. Here, they have done measurement of CPU utilization and throughput of the system to find out, to establish a stability of the system and to arrive to a scalability of a system. Same way,
Sorry.
in another
Sorry
one of
for
the architecture. Yes.
question, sir. Please wrap up 2 minutes for conclusion, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I request you please wrap up in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah. So in another architecture, authors have proposed here interoperability, heterogeneity, and platform independence requirement. So as we can go on with this comparison and look at a glance the comparison, that I would like to reiterate that few of the requirements are not commonly addressed, which needs to be addressed. So here in microservices based architecture are promising and they are evolving over the time for the IoT domain. The microservices based middleware is hard to design due to dependency between different functions. Yes, it's not impossible. It is hard to design. We need to think into fine granular approach. Requirements like data management, context awareness, and fault tolerance mechanisms are dynamic in nature and less commonly addressed in the approaches. So future design should include this requirement as a target for the research purpose. These are my references, and thank you, ma'am.
So, Mr. Tushar, I think that's a kind of comparative analysis work that you've done.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a kind of review work?
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes.
So, do you have any intent to take it up as further research?
Yes, ma'am.
domain?
So here, yes, ma'am. I'm pursuing research in this domain particular, and at this point, I have also given a typical microservice-based generic middleware architecture here, in which I am currently working on and trying to address the requirements which are and in a way that it can be used for multiple scenarios.
So that's your proposed model?
Yes, it is not incomplete, but it's an abstract model. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you just come to slide number 5? 5.
This one, yeah.
This one. How did you decide on these microservices-based middleware references and middleware requirements also? Do you think you've considered all these requirements, or there are some more?
Yes. No, ma'am. As per my knowledge and my study of the literature, most of the requirements are covered in this case, and which are
don't you think a
relevant.
few can be all right? Don't you think a few can be clubbed together, or
Yes,
can
yes.
be added to it?
Yeah. Definitely, few can be clubbed here. For the addition, I will have to look into that. Is there any other requirement which are left out, which can be added here?
And clubbing a few properties or the requirements and adding a few might change the results and the architecture architecture of the system, right?
Correct.
That plays a very, very important role in it. And how about these microservices based middleware references that you've taken? I think again they are based on all these references, the papers that you have gone through.
Yes.
So
These are
don't
the
you
paper
think there
names.
can be, yeah, so do you think you've really included all the papers, all the research work done in this particular context so far, and you've been able to include all the references?
Yeah. So, ma'am, here I would like to say that in IoT middleware per se, there are many approaches and many research work is done. But for particularly where they have mentioned that we are proposing microservice-based architecture, in that I have taken most of them.
You think
Where
you
they are
have taken, or
mentioning,
you've actually taken?
yes, ma'am.
Because see, you have mapped these references against the
Yes,
middleware requirements, right?
yes,
So this particular table or um, the study approach, I would say, forms the base of your work which you're going to do.
right.
So I think this is very, very important to be sure of it. Is there is something you're missing on? Do we have some more middleware references for this particular microservice? And
So,
same goes for middleware requirements also. So
yes, ma'am.
yeah.
For that, firstly, I have done the survey of general middleware papers, and afterwards, I have shortlisted microservice-based middleware papers,
Do we have the
and from
mentioning
that,
of these middleware references from in some books or some standard, I would say, research work?
this all are from research paper only, ma'am.
No. I'm asking you that
Hmm.
apart from the research papers, do we have the mentioning of these standard middleware references somewhere in standard books or some authentic sources which are a standard in the market? Because these are the
Okay.
individual versions, right?
Yeah.
The
These are,
research work done by
yeah,
people, they give
correct.
something of their own, they add some more element, their
Yes.
own unique element. But apart from that, what is most important is some strong base behind it.
Okay.
So
So
if
I will
in case
definitely
we
look for
have the
that, ma'am,
mentioning,
actually.
yeah, please do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So for
Yeah.
general IoT middleware, I have seen in from books like Professor Rajkumar Vuya's book, but for
All right.
particularly microservice based, I will look for the resources.
Yeah, because ultimately you are proposing an architecture, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
that's a big thing. So you'll have to be sure of these things. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Mr. Tushar, I
Yes,
would like to know what could be the probable application of your research work.
Ma'am, application actually this particular work is per se is applicable to all the IoT domain. Like for example, a smart home is a very good example of that, as well as any smart environment uh, where we observe the data moving from one place to another place.
Okay. Another thing is, this when we deal with microservices, we have this term REST API, something like that, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So can you tell me what exactly it is and how you have utilized it in your research work?
Actually, ma'am, REST APIs are kind of APIs which can be implemented to realize any of the service, and that I have for the experimentation purpose, I have set up a monolithic kind of application to compare, and also a code or a software which implements different kind of services in different languages, and with also one of them is of REST API as well to do the experiment.
Okay. And this RESTful and RESTless services, is there any relation to that?
Uh,
Stateful and stateless. Sorry.
yes. Actually, ma'am, name itself is suggesting that stateless is we will not remember the previous state. So in stateful, we initiate a request and It's more or like asynchronous and synchronous communication.
So I mean to say, is there anything which you have, we are going to utilize this type of concept in your work?
Yes, ma'am. I will look forward for that particular that how I can utilize it and implement.
Because I think you are talking about security and privacy
Yes,
as one
yes.
of the requirements, right?
Yeah.
So how you will be implementing it?
So for security, I need to look for a lightweight algorithm, because as we are dealing with IoT domain, then to communicate with the lower level, which is device layer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. That's it. So we are moving forward to our next presenter, Jaya Sharma, Deep, and her paper title is on Deep CNN model embedded with inception layers for COVID-19 classification. Yes, it is visible, ma'am, but please make it full screen.
Okay, ma'am. And now, is it okay?
Yes, yes, it is perfect, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon, all members. Today I'm going to present my work, my research work, that is deep CNN model embedded with an inception layer for COVID-19 classification. I am Jaya Sharma, a scholar from SRM ISP Delhi NCR campus. So these are the content that I will deliver today. My primary objective is to create a model for big data that classifies COVID-19 diseases. And second, my objective is to identify essential features and modify CNN to improve the accuracy for better classification of COVID-19 disease. First, why I chosen big data? Because it is a collection of data that is huge in volume and now growing exponentially with the time. Basically, big data characterized by 5V data that is generated every second, every minute and hour in our digitized world. Second is variety. Variety is defined as a different type of data we can use. Like nowadays, maximum our data is unstructured. In fact, 80% of the data would fit into this category, like images, videos, or any social media updates. Okay. Third point is velocity. Velocity basically refers to the speed at which vast amount of data are being generated, collected, and analyzed. And fourth one is the veracity. When we talk about the veracity, is define the quality and trustworthiness of the data. Like security and privacy comes under this category. And fifth one is value. When we talk about the value, we are referring to the worth of the data being extracted. So these are the 5 V's that work in the big data. Next, because I am using a deep learning model that is part of the machine learning. So machine learning is an idea to learn from the experience and examples without being explicitly programmed. Instead of writing code, we can feed the data to build our model. Nowadays, deep learning technique has been achieved outstanding result, like CNN, RNN, many models are available to extract the features. I use in our model CNN have to be special, powerful, being successfully applied in diverse areas such as galaxy, morphological prediction, development of image guided, autonomous car, face detection, and many more. Image classification with big data is a challenging task. In this work, we classify to COVID-19 diseases and overcome the problem for classification with big data in efficient way. So these are the my around 20 to 30 literature survey. I studied papers, research paper I studied, but I taken few only in this slide. So this is first is the chestnut radiologist level pneumonia detection on chest X-ray with deep learning. In this CNN model they use on the X-ray images. In this paper, 121 convolution neural network used to identify 14 diseases related to the lungs. And that database author used chest X-ray 14 dataset. That paper limitations were they use front radiography, only frontal image they use, and accuracy approximately they achieved 85%. And next second paper is automated detection of COVID-19 cases using deep neural network with X-ray image. In this paper, they use deep learning method. Of course, they use CNN only because I am also using CNN, so I taken that paper only. And that they work on the CXR, means chest X-ray images, and they use 17 combination layer by using various filters. And this again paper limitation was they taken very small images, like data set was the very small size. Next COVID net paper architecture they introduced, and they use for the implementation of the model of the author, accomplish the COVID X-ray data set that was generated only for the COVID net examination, and they used approximately 13,000 images, chest images, and found the accuracy 93.3 accuracy. And also they use for multi-class, they classify multi-classes like first COVID, normal, and viral. And next paper, I studied like artificial intelligence to detect COVID-19 and community acquired image. In this paper, author extract local features of 2-dimensional and global features of 3-dimensional. And it was fully connected layer input, that is finally generated features map, and it performed classification on 3 classes. And got accuracy 96% specification and 90% in sensitivity. In our proposed CNN model, basically I use inception layer with convolution layer. So basically I use 3 convolution layer. In first convolution directly connected with the directly connected with the input layer, that is input image, that is 120 into 5120, that is gray level image, and I convolute by 7 into 7 convolution. I use strike 2 and I taken 64 filters, and output will be the 256 into 256 into 64. Then in every convolution layer, we use pooling, max pooling to reduce the height and width for downsampling. And next, in second convolution layer, I use 3 into 3 convolution, same stride, and I taken 32 filter kernel filters, and found and I get the output 128 into 128 into 32 image size. And then every convolution I am telling I use max pooling. So after max pooling means downsample the image, and we got the 64 into 64 into 32 image size. After getting that 2 convolution, I pass our output into the inception layer to minimize the or to implement the like element wise implementation.
Interruption.
Yes, ma'am.
You have last 2 minutes.
Okay, got it. Then I got the output 8 into 16, and then max pooling again got the convolution 4 into 5, and then I flattened to the image and got 256. In inception layer, this is the internal architecture of the inception layer. I use 1 into 1 convolution with every output, and then first I convolation with single 3 into 3 convolation, then 3 into 3, and then pooling, and then concatenate, and then I pass to the that 3 into 3 convolation, and got after that max pooling. For performance analysis, from previously for evaluation of performance, I use confusion matrix. Basically, confusion matrix used to calculate the performance evaluation of our like recall factor, precision, AUC, ROC curve, RF1 score, and accuracy. This is the our like comparison table is there. Next. In conclusion, I will just tell to like in my implementation in our work, we use CNN model, and we did it for we include inception layer in our model and get achieved accuracy around 98.18. So this is these are the reference that I used in my work. That's it.
Okay, Jaya. So my question to you is that
Yes.
adding inception layers, multiple inception layers rather, would certainly have it improve the results as you're saying.
Yes.
But it does come with certain system overheads also. So don't you think it speeds down the overall process a lot? If we really work on, huge data set, so it will adversely impact the overall speed. So the accuracy will certainly be at the cost of uh, the system overhead. So what do you have to say on this?
Ma'am, you are telling if we use like more images, then it will be impact on the speed. It can be, right?
No, I'm saying that including multiple inception layers,
Okay.
as you said, has
Yes.
improved the results, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But it slows down the overall process also. So
Yes,
what do
ma'am.
you think in case of huge data sets is um, more preferable? Accuracy undoubtedly is required, but is it justifiable that it's done at the speed cost, at the cost of speed?
Yeah, ma'am. This paper, my motive is maximum key I can achieve accuracy nicely with image. But if speed, in terms of speed or in terms of if we means in further I will use big data, then it will be impact, or then I will some modification with the inception layer also. Like in convolution, in terms of convolution, or in terms of other layers, we can play with that.
I think you're a research scholar, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the way a research is progressed is, first we have to find out the parameters, first we have to find out the factors which will influence the overall work, or we have to set some kind of threshold, or we have to set some kind of standards which are directly related with the quality of work. And
Yes,
along with that, the quality of data, the quantity of data also matters the most.
yes, yes.
We don't work on it paper wise, right? So since you're saying that the objective is to attain some accuracy in this paper, and then other factors would be considered later on, so I don't think that's a kind of approach we use for research work, right? So please have a discussion with your guide regarding the same. Um, how long has it been for you to be a part of this research?
Ma'am, just I completed my course.
You've just completed the coursework. Okay, so coursework has certain papers which
Yes, ma'am.
guide you,
Yes,
right, about
yes,
the research methodology, and there are many other components of it which tells you clearly how a research is proceeded, how do we have to proceed in a research work. So those are not just theoretical aspects, they are very, very practical points or factors that you must keep in mind while performing the research work, right? So I don't feel commenting much on the work that you have done because I can see certain loopholes, certain points which should be taken care of initially itself. So please focus more on that, and obviously, like research, you will certainly end up with the meaningful research, I would say. Yeah, thank you. Samiksha ma'am, if you
Yeah.
have to ask something, yeah.
So, Jaya, even I was feeling that you were, as you already told, that US is like beginning of your research work. But as Neha madam is telling, you have to be very clear with what exactly you are going to do. Your objective of the research is, as of now, I feel it is not clear. So maybe you can work on the objective of research, publishing, right? Publishing at this stage with no clarity doesn't make much sense. So maybe you should have a very clear understanding of what you are proposing. And what I feel is all the slides which you have presented, you have too much contents on the slide. So maybe next time whenever you go for presentation, try to make it little less content, maybe in the form of points, and may have more clarity on what exactly the work you are doing. And even if you have not included certain point, what is the reason for not including it, so that you can convince maybe the panel with your intention, and try to find out one base paper based on that. You can claim that, okay, so from here I have started my research work. Okay, thank you.
And then I want to tell one thing. My objectives are very clear. Like I'm going for the big data images. Like I'm going for the data set, big data set. And for this paper, and I'm going to find out to extract the features and for more accuracy to identify the COVID-19 disease. So yeah, so this is my
And
that's my
one more
two.
thing, see,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I felt one more thing in the beginning. You were talking about big data. That is not required actually. You need not to teach what are characteristics of big data. You are writing a
Okay.
research paper.
Okay.
Jaya, by
Yes.
saying objectives, what
Yes.
ma'am and I meant was you must have the clarity about the data set, about the test bed, but at the top of that, you must have the clarity regarding the parameters you're about to take and why,
Okay.
right? Every research work contributes with some kind of refinement, either in the already existing techniques or models, or we club certain techniques and models and propose a newer one, just to bring not just to improve the results on any of the aspects,
Hmm.
but on a certain justifiable aspect, right?
Okay.
uh, Parameters are required. Why? Because they give an impression that how much clear you are about the research topic, firstly,
Hmm.
and secondly, why such kind of refinement is required. And if it is required, it's not done at the cost of something which is equally important, right?
Yes.
For example, if we talk about this particular paper, we just cannot improve the quality by compromising the overall speed of the system. Do you understand that? So if in case you had the clarity about the parameters and their importance, you would have certainly taken it into account, the speed part. I hope you got that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
all the best. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Prachi Desai, and her paper title is on a novel approach to identify the rainfall prediction using deep convolution neural networks algorithm.
Good afternoon, all of you. Thank you to the ICTS for giving me this opportunity. And thank you all of you for being here today. As you can see on the screen, My title is a novel approach to identifying the rainfall prediction using deep convolution neural network algorithm. My paper ID is 190. On behalf of all authors, I am here for presenting this paper. This is the outline of my presentation: introduction, problem statement, objective of research work, literature survey, proposed research work, and conclusion. Uh, as we all know that in India, this is the well-being of agriculture sector. The farmers' agriculture implementation depends on precipitation. Precipitation means the form of water which deck on land in different forms like snow and rain and all that. It is also helping water resource management for embedding information in the past to help our farmers are better managed to crops leads to economic growth in the country. For example, precipitation forecast is as follow. It pay to prevent flooding, which saves lives and flood. For example, Uttarakhand flood. As we know, recent flood in India, which is the 7th Uttarakhand flood. Because of ice and rock avalanche, they are faced so many damages. So, targeting these all the problems, I have to choose the rainfall prediction like monthly, early prediction. For forecasting is one of the main tasks for scientists in various fields such as data mining, environment, and machine learning. In this problem, it is very common to ask how to extract prediction from the past and use them in future. There are so many varieties are so sub processes are identify or significant in significant rainfall. Accurate rainfall forecasting is an important issue in our day-to-day life as a part of the risk of injury and damage. This again is not very encouraging for correct precipitation forecast due to the existing global system. Rainfall prediction targets the determination of rainfall conditions over the specific location. Modularity theory and the integrity of various models have recently become increasingly interested in precipitation prediction in order to overcome these problems. This is my problem statement. Rainfall prediction can be broadly be classified into two categories. One is by analyzing the different physical laws like formula and all that. Overall, in this analyzing prediction involves too much mathematical calculation, so it may not computationally feasible. Like if we have huge amount of data, there is no chance to go through this first approach. The second approach involves expert system to involve and discovering hidden patterns of how different features that affect rainfall are actually related with physical rainfall. Achieving expected accuracy is challenging. So in this approach, it has been found to be more suitable. The modern advancement in research of neural networks is more accurate. It also involves just solving the real life problems like flooding and fertilizing of farmers. These are objectives of my research work is considered vital for agriculture industry, and I have targeting or I can say I have just focused on farmers condition. Nowadays, the condition of farmers are very challenging. Like due to rain, they have faces so many losses on their a new forecasting method that use a deep convolution neural network to predict monthly rainfall for a selected location in India. These are the summary of my literature. In first paper, I have found that as per if we have varying in data set, the accuracy of prediction is very less, or I can say variation in accuracy. In second paper, there are no climate characteristics, so I have to find out this in a second paper. The third paper, uh,
Sorry ma'am for interruption. You have only last 2 minutes. So please conclude your slide presentation.
okay, ma'am. So these are the literature of my title. So this is my system architecture. First, user I input data like data set details. After that, data pre-processing are there. After that, training and testing data. For data pre-processing, we have so many libraries, Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib library. So I have used these libraries for pre-processing the data. After that, training and testing data. These are I have used CNN algorithms. So I have applied CNN and predict the reason for upcoming season of rain. So this is my steps of algorithm that I have how to train my model. This is methodology of my system that data collection after data pre-processing, after that splitting data set that is training and testing data. For training and testing data set, I have used 75 25 training. For training data, I have used 75% and for testing 25% data. After that, applying CNN or for comparative analysis, I have used ANN algorithm also used, but I have not found like very much accuracy as compared to CNN. After that, training the model, it gives the test set and predict the values of next season. And after the accuracy and error calculation, we have to predict exact rainfall after, or I can say next season. This is the data set detail. For data analysis, data prediction, it is a set of rainfall data from the period of 1901 to 2015 of various regions. The data set contain ideal like yearly, monthly, and 3 months periods data set for the prediction. The sample of data set is shown below. These are tools and technology. Testing parameters are there, and training set are this. System requirement for my goal system. This is the result and analysis. Deep learning algorithm applies such as neural network and CNN. CNN, as I can say, I have also used ANN, but not that much reach that much accuracy. So I have gone through the CNN. CNN achieved 77% accuracy in rainfall prediction. This is the evaluation metric of my CNN algorithm for prediction. This is the screenshot of my front page, or I can say my system that select data set after the processing, apply CNN, and the result. So I have conclude my work that and supervised rainfall learning model, which use a machine learning algorithm to classify rainfall data in weather prediction, is pretty helpful with good accuracy score. And in rainfall also, it gives a pretty good prediction. In future, we have planning to increase our work in storm prediction and crop prediction with the rainfall prediction.
Okay, Prachi, thank you for your great presentation.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So the next presenter is Vinodini A, and her paper title is on automated preparator identification by face recognition.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please start your presentation and please stick to the time limit. This is 7 to 8 minutes.
So the title for the paper is Automated Perpetrator Identification by Face Recognition. So we are Nandini LK, Vinodini A, and Jayalakshmi M as joined for the presentation. So in today's world, the identification of criminals or any perpetration activity is very important. Many buildings and streets have surveillance cameras installed to monitor us. The biggest challenge is identifying the exact person in terms of face detection and facial extraction. We need higher algorithms and technology to be identified. In this deep learning era, hard cascading is one of the most successful face recognition technique which is being used for recognizing facial identification. So in this paper, we're going to use some implements. The components we have actually implemented in this particular paper is face detection, facial feature, facial extraction, and facial recognition. So algorithms like local binary pattern histogram, Fisher face, and eigenfaces are used for implementing the face recognition, and the results are obtained or plotted. So the key challenges: early attempts on eigenfaces and Fisher face was disappointing since the local binary pattern histogram alone recognizes the face. By designing an application to test the algorithms and after calibration with the new data, both algorithms performed well. Another challenge was people tilting their head when the image is taken for the data. This was fixed with the application that identifies the locations of the eyes and rotates the image to correct the offset. It was noticed that some early stage images in the dataset had different brightness. To resolve this, before taking an image, brightness was averaged to prevent dark images. So the motivation is, over the years, a lot of security approaches have been developed that helped in confidential data secured and limiting the challenge of security breach. Facial recognition which is one of the few biometric methods and that possesses the merits of both a high accuracy and low intrusiveness in a computer program that uses a person's face to automatically identify and verify the person from the digital image. So comparing the facial features from the image, we have a database of these perpetrators, and our proposed system will identify using hard cascading and eigenfaces. The objective of the work is to design a facial recognition system that will enable to detect a face and recognize the face automatically. So this will help the law enforcement to detect or recognize suspect of the case if no thumbprint present is on the scene. So the need for proposed system is, in practice, identification of criminals is mainly done through fingerprint identification. With the advent of security technologies, cameras, especially CCTV, has been installed in many public and private areas for surveillance purposes. So this footage can identify suspects on scene because of the limited software developed to automatically detect the similarity between the footage and the recorded footage of criminals. The law enforce fingerprint identification. So the main advantage of a system is to create the automated face recognition system to identify the perpetrator who's involved in any. So these are the literature survey we have taken. So the actual conclusion from the literature survey is most existing tools took a lot of time for training the data sets and the cognitive able to detect the face properly when the person is in motion or when the face is slightly tilted. So this is the architecture diagram. We actually have this input video, which has been segmented into image frames, and then pre-processing is done. The faces are normalized, and then it has been the feature extraction is done. We send the training data set, and the classification and that is done, and then the face is recognized. So this is the entire architecture diagram. Moving on to implementation, we use cascades as a wavelet is a mathematical action that produces square-shaped waves for the beginning and end, and to create box-shaped patterns to recognize signals. So, to analyze an image using hard cascade, a scale is selected smaller than the target image. It is then placed on the image, and the average of the values of pixels in each section is taken. For example, forehead, eyebrows, eyes contrast, as well as the nose with eyes. Several classifiers are combined to provide an accurate face detection system. So, Eigenfaces is based on a principal component analysis that will classify images to extract features using a set of images. It is important that the images are in the same lighting condition or the eyes matching the image. Fisher-Face technique builds up on eigenface and is based on LDA derived from Ronald Fisher's Fourier transform and is used for pattern recognition. Next. For local binary pattern histogram, these patterns were proposed as classifiers and computer vision in 1990. The combination of LBP with histograms oriented gradients was introduced in 2009 that increased in certain data sets. The advantage of this technique is even if the luminosity of the image is changed as the result is the same as before. So these are the experimental results. As the confidence written from LBPA changing neighbors, the ID written from LBPA changing neighbors. So as the number of cells against increases, LBPF shows high confidence. So this is the calibration of trainer testing on videos. Are testing images after and before the calibration. So this is about vision perspective. It explains the technologies used in the project and the methodology used. Finally, it shows results discussed the challenges and how they were resolved, followed by a discussion. Using hard cascades for face detection worked extremely well when the subjects were more spectacle. Real-time video speed was satisfactory as devoid of noticeable frame lag. Considering all the factors, LVPH combined with hard cascades can be implemented as a cost-effective face recognition platform to identify perpetrators in public places, provide security and safety to people. So, in order to enhance more accuracy, we need to provide more better images as input to get a better output and a higher accuracy rate. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind presentation. I would like to ask Neha, ma'am, have you any queries regarding this presentation? Okay, I think she has no query. Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Our next presenter is Puna Harsha Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and this paper title on General on Delivery Management Platform.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir. Please start your presentation.
Yeah, just a second.
Okay, and please be time limit. Be on time limit.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is visible, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Kuna Harshakumar, pursuing final year BA at M. Kumarasamy College of Engineering. My paper title is Journal on Delivery Management Platform, and my paper ID is 196. So, first objectives of the paper is to design an online delivery application for both. It's like to deliver the goods which is used and also which is of new kind. The delivery will be done within the perimeter radius within the city. It is we have just taken this project to mainly increase the efficiency of delivery management and also to bring every type of delivery under one roof. That is, we have also added modules such as food delivery and also car booking. And groceries deliveries and delivery of medicines under one roof. It is similar to Tata New, which has been recently launched. In that Tata New, the applications of Tata, such as Air Asia and so many, they have brought under one roof. This is also a similar kind of project. So while coming to introduction of project, the delivery management is responsible for delivery of parcels. Many parcels are being delivered from one place to another place, but when we come to deliver the products within the city, it's taking 1 day or 1.5 day. So mainly to decrease that, we have just introduced this one. The system mainly provides a solution for the people who are needing their delivery within time, that is within a day or some time limit, and also will get their to doorstep. So previously, these are the related works we have just referred. We have just referred sugar. Title of the paper is sugar. We have mainly referred this to find the ways to deliver goods within the city of without any problem, and identifying the success factors in e-grocery home delivery. It is like how can we satisfy the customer. So we have just referred to these papers, and we have found that there is an application which deliver products, that is done so, but we have found a problem that there are many issues, that there is a missing of parcels, and some of the drivers are not giving the parcels to the customers, and also we found that there is no system which can book a car, which can deliver both medicine, food, and also products in one application. So these are the findings in my paper. So this is proposed architecture. So for example, if we take product delivery, that is used goods or new goods, first they just need to uh, they need to order for delivery. Then the driver, the person who is going to pick the delivery, he's going to come up. Either is the new delivery, then he have to enter the details, and they'll get their order ID. Once they get their order ID, they can track. Using their order ID, they can directly contact with the driver, so that they can know that where the product is being, whether it's been missing or whether it's been being delivered. This is flowchart. First, the customer creates the delivery request. Then parcel will be given to the person who will be delivered. So delivery staff will come and collect. So received parcel will be dropped off to the location. Then finally, customer can rate the services. So in this project, mainly there are three modules, that is customer module, driver or delivery module, and administrator module. When coming to customer module, the customer have to book their order by entering the details such as name, pickup point, drop point, and the other ID and contact number. We are collecting other number because of their address. That we are just verifying whether the person who is giving the product is that who needs their product to be delivered is app person or not. So the driver who is going to collect that parcel, he'll check the other number, so that if it's correct, he'll just take the delivery, or else he'll cancel the delivery. So this is the summary of model 1. So while coming to model 2, the module 2 mainly consists of driver. Here he just have to check whether the Aadhaar card is apt, and the details given by the customer is correct or not. Then he'll just need to check that whether the delivery have to be taken or not. So this is the summary of model 2. And while coming to summary of model 3, this is admin module. He's the one who take care of everything. She maintains the data collected and keep the watch on delivery of goods. And also, if there is any problem, he'll just resolve it. He have access to hot modules. So this is module 3. These are the results of module 1. This is the start page. So as I said, they can just get whatever kind of delivery they need, either food or normal product delivery, or cab or grocery or essentials. So this is the page where the customer enter their details and book their order. So once their order has been booked, their order ID along with tracking link will be given. We have just taken for pickup and drop, that is product delivery, and we have just redirected that food delivery to Swiggy, and cab delivery to Ola, and for groceries delivered we have mapped to Zepto. This is where they can track their order. So once they have tracked, it shows the details such as whether who collected driver ID is the person who collected their order, and what is the position of the delivery. So this is module 2. In module 2, the driver ID, here driver will update the order taken by him and his driver ID, so that we can know who has been which driver has been collected the order. So this is list of employees showing. This is for admin, like who what are the deliveries needed to be delivered, and list of employees. This is kind of drivers who are working. If a new employee or a new driver needed to be joining, so he just enter the details and he'll just confirm his employment. So this is update order. The driver will update what is the position of the delivery. Final conclusion of our paper is we are just bringing everything that is food delivery, groceries delivery, and medicine delivery, and also cab booking under one roof. It is like to mainly decrease the count of applications by providing everything in one application. So this is our main conclusion. So these are the reference we have been searched for. Thank you.
Ma'am, have you any query regarding this presentation? I think she is in the middle of something. Thank you, sir, for your kind presentation, for excellent presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
She will join us in few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So next presenter is Siva Sakti Wellness, and paper title is Age Estimation in Social Network Using Machine Learning Algorithm.
Hello, ma'am. I'm audible, ma'am.
Yes, you are audible. Are you Shiva Sakti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sure. Please, you can start your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. My screen is visible, ma'am.
Yes, it is visible, and please make it full screen.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to all present here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present. First of all, my name is Sivasabil. I'm pursuing BE Computer Science Engineering in M. Kumarasamy College of Engineering, Karu. My paper title is Age Estimation Social Network Using Machine Learning Algorithm. My paper ID is 198. Objective of project: the main objective is to restrict a person to register their social network based on human facial features with improved accuracy. First of all, the social network became most advanced and popular one in the world, and nowadays the children are using a social network and they're facing some issues based on some issues based on their social networks. To restrict that, we have. Hello, ma'am.
Network issue है something.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm audible, ma'am.
Yeah, you are audible. Please continue.
Yes, ma'am. Introduction of the project. using the human facial feature, we have developed in a social network to register and to enter into the social system. It is implemented on online system to restrict the person based on their ages, which are calculated using the facial contact features. The threshold value of the facial feature is above 18 to enter into the social networks. Based on that, the system will allow them to enter into the social network, and if they are less than the threshold value, they are neglected to enter into the social network. Relevant work findings in our projects are irrelevant features except the phases are removed. Time complexity is so high, which it get reduced. Computational complexity is also high. Difficult to calculate ages in real-time environment. Proposed system architecture. This is, first of all, we need to register into the system. It captures the face and detect the face based on the given facial features. Extract the face and store in the final database. When we log into the system, we capture the face and it compares with the threshold frequency. Whether if the threshold value is greater than the given threshold value, it will allow to enter into the system, or it will reject as from enter. There are 5 modules in our project: social network construction, face detection, facial feature extraction, age classification, and access framework. Summary of module 1. In social network construction, we have 2 types of user, such as admin and user. Admin is responsible. First of all, the admin is responsible for admitting the person who are entering into the social network, which gives access, them to enter into the system. Admin verify all the process and allow them to enter the system. Use the person for the user who enter into the system. First of all, they need to register their login with the login credential details, which are needed for the registrations. Face detection. In this module, the face is detected using the camera, using the principal component analysis algorithm to detect the facial features. Facial feature abstraction. In this, we have used more than 72 features for extracting the facial images, for calculating their ages, and to verify the genders. It classify the ages based on the given extraction features from the faces, and it allowed to enter into the system after the classification of faces. The threshold value is greater than the given threshold value. It is the last module of our system. It is access into the system. If the value is greater than 18, it allows to permissions or allows to enter into the system to use their social media. Conclusion. First of all, the main conclusion is to restrict the person who are less than their threshold value frequencies. And another one is to capture the phases for providing the duplicate faces, duplicate IDs, and they are entering into the social medias and using abnormal ones. Thank you.
Is it kind of I don't think you're a research scholar.
Ma'am? Hello, ma'am.
Are you a research scholar?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a PhD student?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, that is what the question is.
Yes,
because the work seemed more like a project, or I think you're a BTech student.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So where do you find the utility of your project that you're working on?
Ma'am, in the base papers which I have referred, but I didn't mention here, ma'am. In the base paper which I have
No,
referred.
I'm asking you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not clear with
The question
what you're
is,
asking.
yeah, the question is, where do you find the utility of your project? Have you constructed it for a specific a domain or organization?
This for specific domain, ma'am, especially through social medias, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I'm audible, ma'am.
Yeah, you're audible, but my question is very straightforward. आपने ये जो प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है, ये प्रोजेक्ट आप कहीं पे इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे? कहाँ, किसके लिए डिजाइन किया है ये प्रोजेक्ट आपने?
Ma'am, I'm not familiar with Hindi. What you are asking?
Oh, that's okay. I thought you're not comfortable with English. That's why I
No, ma'am.
spoke to you in Hindi. So the question is very straightforward. I just want to know about the contribution of your work. Where do you think your project can be a contribution? Have you developed it for your own institute or some other organization?
Ma'am, it's for some other organizations, ma'am, like Facebook, Instagrams. Just we
No,
are
they're not the
started.
organizations. I'm just asking you, like you,
Ma'am, it's for
can you just, yeah. So it's age estimation in social network using machine learning algorithm, right?
yes,
So
ma'am.
it's a kind of project that you've taken up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
do you think that this can really be implemented somewhere?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. It will. It
Which
can
social
be
network
implemented.
have
Whether it.
you? No, it's just a concept right now,
Yes,
isn't
ma'am.
it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Just it's a
I don't
concept, ma'am.
think you have. Yeah, it's just a concept. You have not implemented it for any kind of social network
No, ma'am. It's
as
not
of
implemented
now,
in a
right?
social concept. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, our next presenter is
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
yes. Next presenter is Kilol Vishnu Prasad Pandya. Its
Yes.
cover title on low profile electrical slot antenna for sub 6 GHz 5G and WN applications. Now we can start with presentations.
Hello, shall I share my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, okay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, good afternoon, one and all present over here. Myself, Dr. Kilol Pandya. I am an associate professor in the Charusat University. And today I'm going to give the presentation on the low profile elliptical slot antenna for sub 6 GHz 5G and WLAN applications in the 6th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent Systems. So quickly, we are going to see how I shall go with the presentation. So this is the presentation flow where I'm going to cover first the advantage of the slot antenna as I have developed the slot antenna, then antenna prototype design and my fabricated antenna, parametric study, then the return loss measurement that I'm going to show you, and then how the current distributed over the surface of my developed antenna that we are going to discuss, then the antenna under stage under the anechoic chamber, then the 2D radiation patterns that what we have received, and then the presentation would be concluded by the conclusion. So first of all, let us see the advantages of the slot antenna. First of all, the slot antenna is a very low profile antenna, easy to fabricate. Fabrication is very easy. So slot antenna where we can have the size miniaturization. So that's why it is said to be a compact. It is, of course, a low-cost antenna because you can go for the simple kind of copper sheet. You can have the FR4 substrate material sheet. So you can easily fabricate the antenna, which is of low cost. So you can also think about the bulk production of this kind of antennas. And of course, the fundamental of the slot antenna, everybody knows the Babinet's principle, where we can have the rectangular metal sheet and where we are going to cut one particular rectangular strip from that particular sheet. So whatever the hole or whatever the slot is created within that metal sheet, that is considered as the radiator, and that is nothing but my slot antenna. And the portion which we have already cut it, that is called the dipole antenna. Okay, so both are very important, slot antenna and dipole antenna. And also the slot antenna having the similar kind of radiation pattern, omnidirectional radiation pattern like the dipole antenna. So this is what my design antenna, where I'll quickly show you with the help of the pointer that here you can see whatever the orange color in figure number A, that is what the top view of my design, where the copper color, that orange color is nothing but the copper. You can say that the one kind of slot antenna where the shape is some kind of elliptical shape, and where the feeding is inside feed. And I have created two slots. One is a horizontal slot and one is the vertical slot. The green color, that is nothing but my substrate. And substrate for that we have chosen the FR4 material, which is commercially available material. So the antenna would be at the low cost. This particular figure 1B, that is what the figure of the ground plane. So how the antenna looks from the bottom side, that is what I have shown to you. So here this particular area is nothing but my ground, where some of the paper where I found that the ground would be partial, some of the paper where the ground is fully covered. So here I have taken the border, which is conducting border, and also I have developed the slot pattern within the ground plane also. So this is nothing but my antenna from the bottom side, and this is what figure 1C, that is what my fabricated antenna model. Okay, I have fabricated this particular antenna at one particular industry situated in Gandhinagar. So we used to go for the DXS file. We send the DXS file to that fellow, and then they will fabricate the antenna, and they will send us the fabricated antenna. And then we have measured the parameters for the developed antenna. This is the antenna dimensions, where I'm very happy that the antenna would be having size miniaturization, where the size of the antenna would be 28.7 mm by 27 mm. So that is this L sub and W sub size. So that's why in the beginning I told that the antenna is very compact. Even if you are going to go for this particular slot kind of antenna, it is even smaller than the typical substrate. So that is what regarding the designing and the size of the antenna. Then this is what the parametric study means. Systematically, I have developed this particular slot antenna. In first iteration, I have just developed an antenna having the elliptical kind of shape and just the particular microstrip line. And I have excited the antenna with the help of the lump pod in the software. And the result is in front of you. At the blue color line, it is nothing but the return loss versus the frequency graph, where I can also have the two bands, but they are not up to the mark. Then I have created the insert feed in my second impression, and I again go for the same kind of measurements. And as you can see, the return loss would be little improved. And then I have created two slots. When I created the two slots and then I go for the result would be up to the mark. They are minus 10 dB, and one particular band, first band, is having the minus 30 dB. So you can say that how much level the impedance matching would be there, because we all know that impedance matching would be the crucial fundamental for any kind of resonance. If the impedance matching is maximum, then you can have the minimum kind of return loss. And as the minimum kind of return loss, we can say that the transmission would be maximum. So here you can say that
Mr. Kilol, I'll just interrupt you for a while.
Please, ma'am.
I
Please,
really find your work very interesting, but I can see you're already a doctor and
yes,
associate professor also. So I
yes,
think
yes,
this must be a part of your unpublished research work,
yes,
right?
yes, of course.
You're already you already hold a doctorate degree.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I just ask you a few questions like
Okay.
what kind of test bed did you use for it? Was it done in a perfect physical setup? As
Yes,
you said
ma'am.
that the antenna were constructed and they were sent somewhere, and
Yes,
I could see, yeah.
yes,
So
ma'am.
have you got it patented yet?
Ma'am, I have not patented yet, because the thing is,
Hmm.
there are some particular things that really I want to improve, even though in this particular
Hmm.
results. For example, here, if you can
Okay,
closely observe this particular band, ma'am, if I am
right.
going to develop a little bit more in this particular antenna, then this particular
Hmm.
red line would
It
even
will be
come below this,
rectified,
yes, minus 10 dB,
right?
so that we can have the
Yeah.
wide band rather than two bands.
Okay.
And if I could
Hmm.
receive that particular wideband, then my antenna would be more efficient and more effective. So
Hmm.
still I am
But
trying to work. Ji, ma'am.
like
Yes.
patent can be you can always apply for a patent. It will take some time, right? At least a
Yes,
time of
ma'am.
8 to 12 months. So you
Yes.
can file for it, and in the meantime you can keep on
Sure.
improving, and based
Sure.
on the expected construction
That
of the antenna, I would say, you can
correct, ma'am.
apply the same specification for the patent, and by the time you will get it processed, it will
Sure.
be your results would
Yes,
also
ma'am.
support your work.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Okay.
I think you can quickly come to the conclusion slide, because I've well understood your
Sure.
um, experimentation, and since I'm from networking background, I can
Okay.
see and
Okay.
sense like lot even before you say it.
Okay.
So
Thank you,
that
ma'am.
was a
Sure.
really wonderful presentation. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go to the conclusion slide, ma'am.
Yeah,
So this is the
thank you.
measured and simulated return loss.
Mhm.
This is the current distribution over the surface, and this is what the anechoic chamber we have in our particular department. Where we can have 5M cross 5M cross 5M kind of anechoic chamber, where we fix our antenna for phi is equal to 0 degree and phi is equal to 90 degree for getting that 2D radiation pattern. And these are the 2D radiation patterns. That is what I have just talked about. And in the conclusion, I can say that I have developed the dual band elliptical slot antenna for the sub 6 gigahertz, because it is radiating for this particular 3.15, and the another band would be below 6 gigahertz. And also the software generated result would be supported by the actual results. So that's why we can claim this particular antenna could be commercialized. But still, I just told to ma'am that even I'm a little bit going into depth of this particular design, and I want to go for some kind of modification, and let's see, could I get the better result? And if I'll get the better result, then it is even better for the acceptability of my this particular fabricated antenna. But of course, I'm think about by filing the patent first, and as the patent would be up to that particular procedure, I may go for the better result. So this is the conclusion.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Yeah.
madam. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right. All the best. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Can we have the next presentation, please?
Yeah. So good afternoon, madam.
Okay, Rashmi K. Dikshit, and her paper title is on project-based learning, a contemporary approach to blend theory and practical knowledge of database management course. Okay, ma'am, you can
So
start.
can I share my presentation?
Yeah, Rashmi, you can. And
So
just a question, even before you start with the presentation. Uh, uh, is it a kind of review study? Or
yeah,
you
it
have
is a
done
kind of
some
education
experimentation?
technology. Yeah, education technology based paper based on a project based learning. What I have done for third year database management system. It is not a research. It is a use of that methodology for my subject during curriculum.
Okay, so can we quickly come to
Yeah,
the slide where you are your findings are there?
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, so this is the first slide. Here I am presenting my paper along with my students Sandeep Sahu and Rachit Shah. So introduction, methodology, implementation, whatever the research, conclusion and discussion. Now, as we know that database engineering is what is the importance of that subject, why it is required, what is the need of the industry. So database is important. We all that know. My screen is visible, na ma'am? Yeah.
Yes, it's
So
visible.
yeah. So project-based learning. Now, what is project-based learning? It is one of the methodology which means which combine the theoretical knowledge with a practical knowledge. So it is a student-driven and teacher-facilitated approach to learning. It allows student to learn concept and apply in a real-time scenario, and it actually maps the theoretical knowledge to practical implementation, which leads to upgradation of a skill set while solving real world problem. So in the changing era, project-based learning provides a facility to analyze a real world problem and demands. And with this active and engaged learning, students get profound knowledge in the database subject. So hence the project-based learning is chosen as an activity. So what is a project-based learning? What are the challenges and why making a perfect blend to get a portion of a student? Now, database engineering subject is for third year.
with a 3 theoretical sessions and 1 practical knowledge. So what happens initially? Initially, the concept were taught in the classroom, and later short assignments on various database topics were assigned to scrutinize the concept during lab session. And it was the prime observation which considered that the final year student faced difficulties with regards to the real-time problem, and which they had selected for final year project under their mini project or major project. And this lead us to introduce project-based learning to third year student with the goal of achieving the first 3 outcome, whatever is the assigned for database subject. Now, how the activities learn? So it is divided into different phases, starting from a team formation, topic selection, then the requirement analysis, that team formation choose a particular topic, then they go for the requirement analysis, that is one of the phase while designing a database, or this is the initial stage of database, then database design, then the different things related to the project like front end design, connecting front end with a back end, execution of a higher level queries, and implementation of a complete application. So what is requirement for a complete real world application project that has been studied by a student during these different phases. So team formation for student, then topic, real world topic, then the first phase, then the design, then the front end, then the connection, then the complete execution. Now, what is the strategy during assessment? So for the completion of each phase, time span is allocated or some deadline is assigned. And for each phase, after deadline, checking were done by means course instructions and suggestions were given. And in this way, during complete project-based learning, intermediate monitoring is done and some points or some suggestions are given which will be beneficial for the student. And during the checking, instructor also checks whether the last suggestions were included or not. And at the end of the semester, online presentation for the complete project, which now turn into the product, were made, and rubric template were assigned or defined, which include the stepwise marks. So, and one more thing is that with instructor, marks were given by each group to another group. And nearly 80% of the teams made their complete presentation and the rest were partially evacuated. The group project will graded based on the percentage listed in the documentation, and design will be graded based on how well they describe and documented the sections required. And it is observed that means 20% as each student contributing 20 points to the pool, which will be distributed based on the percentage of works each student completed. So during this database course, students are not only able to run that particular commands or a SQL query successfully, but they need to lift up the good schemas for a real world application. And in this run, students are able to execute such higher order queries indirectly through project-based learning and came up with a good database design with regards to database application. So,
Rashmi, can you please brief what exact your
conclusion.
contribution is?
Yeah. So, during COVID pandemic situation, there was a lack of adherence towards the real world life project that tests various aspects of the database engineering. And the program above stipulates not only run means concept, but also rooted ones. So program above demanded a substantial means amount of time and knowledge, and the majority of the project were ready to deploy as a website. So data flow management was corroborated by already deployed website that require efficient data flow, storage junction management, swift rendering, and many more. And presentation of a case study on how PBL can be blended with a traditional teaching to improve the conceptual understanding of database concept in a database engineering course. So in laboratory session of a database course, instead of carrying out independent assignment to demonstrate database concept, These theoretical database concepts were schemed into real world problem using project-based learning, and which indeed led to the improvement in the skill set required in database designing and application development. So thank you, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So Rashmi, the concept is, I think, something valuable and beneficial, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure about the research scope of it, like how
yeah,
computer
yeah.
science research would be conducted in this particular context. Otherwise, it was overall a good concept. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rashmi, even I felt like that. So idea was good, but I don't find any research component included in it. Even I don't think so that you have considered any previous literature or something like that,
Yeah. Okay.
where project-based
Thank you.
learning would have been used.
Yeah. Okay. So I will do that, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much to our authors for their excellent presentation and for their great contribution to this session. And thank you to all our participants also for participating in this conference. I hope this conference was informative enough. All the presenters will be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the present paper have been already forwarded to the screenshot, and the publication will be live within 5 to 6 months. So kindly cooperate with the team of ICTIS 2022. And on behalf of Team ICTIS 2022 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation, I would like to thank our session chair, Samiksha Shukla ma'am, and also Neha Tiwari ma'am. Ma'am, this is your token of appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable presence.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was indeed a knowledgeable session. A few of the topics are very novel, I would say. All the best to everyone, and thanks a lot for giving me and Samiksha ma'am an opportunity to interact on this platform. Thank you, Samiksha ma'am. Thanks, everyone. Thank you,
Thank you.
Riddhi.
Thank you, Neha ma'am.
Ma'am.
Thank you all.
Okay. And there is one request to on the camera for a quick snapshot of this virtual conference. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much to everyone. Once again, take care, stay safe.
Thank you so much, all. Bye.